on the Minnesota Twins. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metrodome from here in Minneapolis. I'm Bill White along with Spencer Ross and for Phil Rizzuto. And Spencer, tonight the Yankees plus the Toronto Blue Jays have lost. The Yankees have gained a half game without even playing.
Okay, we were talking earlier. I said that ties them in the loss column. And you said, well, it is a little bit early to start thinking about that. But that is an interesting aspect. With Toronto losing today, both the Yankees and the Blue Jays with 37 losses. And a fellow named Guidry pitches tonight, and he hasn't had too many of those losses as of late.
Well, Ron Guidry's won 12 and lost 3, and he's won 11 straight, looking for victory number 12.
Now, you've seen Ron pitch for years with this Yankee ball club. He's had a better fastball in the past. Have you ever seen him with such pinpoint control?
Well, we've mentioned before that Guidry has learned how to pitch. Ron, before, he had the good fastball that moved, and he had the great slider that went down. Well, he lost that a couple of years ago. I think Ron tried to strike out too many people. We're talking about him today, and he's really made a great transition. He's changing speeds. He can throw a little curveball now, and he can also once in a while reach back and spot that fastball and get up there about 90 miles an hour. But he has become an excellent pitcher. He's made a great transition.
And as he has said, when you're throwing 95, and it's always coming 95, it's really not much different if you're throwing 90 and they're expecting a lot less, because relatively it's just as fast, so to speak.
Well, we mentioned one game, Spencer. You and I were talking about Ron Guidry when he was pitching. He went out with really nothing.
Kansas City.
Yet he was able to finesse the Royals and win a ball game, and that's pitching.
Well, Guidry, as we said, has now won 11 consecutive games. Interesting against this Minnesota team. He's 15-4 lifetime. Ken Schramm will pitch for Minnesota tonight, and the Yankees bombed around last time. Schramm has 2 of those victories against him.
So it'll be Guidry and Ken Schramm. We'll be back with more right after this. The Yankees, their lineup will have Rickey Henderson leading off and playing center field. Ken Griffey batting second and playing left. Don Mattingly at first base. Dave Winfield batting fourth and playing right field. Ron Hassey catching and batting fifth. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Don Baylor. Willie Randolph will bat second. Mike will bat seventh and play second. Mike Pagliarulo will play third base. Bobby Meacham at shortstop for the Yankees. For the home team, the Minnesota Twins, they'll have Kirby Puckett leading off and playing center field. Ron Washington will play second base and bat second. Dave Engel, the designated hitter. Tom Brunansky out in right. Gary Gaetti playing third base. Tim Laudner catching. Dave Meyer in left. Greg Gagne playing shortstop, and the only left-handed hitter in this lineup for Ray Miller, Randy Bush, playing first base. Defensively, for the Minnesota Twins, Randy Bush will be at first base, Ron Washington at second, Greg Gagne at shortstop, and Gary Gaetti over third. The left fielder is Dave Meyer, the center fielder Kirby Puckett, Tom Brunansky playing out in right, and Tim Laudner behind the plate. Pitching for the Minnesota Twins, Kent Schramm. Schramm making his 19th start for the Minnesota ball club. He has 5 complete games. He's won 8 and lost 8, and his ERA 5.05. Umpiring tonight, behind the plate will be Larry Young, Rick Reed at first base, Greg Kosk at second, and at third base, Tim McClellan, as we take a quick peek at Billy Martin, the Yankee skipper. Let's give you the scores this afternoon, the scores that Spencer Ross was talking about earlier. Oakland beat Toronto 5-1. Kansas City over Baltimore 7-5. California beat Boston 5-3. San Diego over Pittsburgh 4-2 in the National League. Mets 16 and Atlanta 4 in the slugfest. And the Chicago Cubs edged the San Francisco Giants 2-1 in San Francisco. Right here, Game 3 just about ready to start, and here to tell you about it, Spencer Ross.
And Rickey Henderson will step in, Bill. Rickey went 0 for 4 last night in the Yankees' 6-4 victory over the Minnesota Twins. Henderson now hitting at .352. He is dropped back into second place in the American League batting race, 5 points behind George Brett. Now, the last time Schramm pitched against the Yankees, Henderson and Griffey had back-to-back home runs in the second inning. And Schramm took an early shower. Henderson with 13 doubles, 4 triples, 11 home runs, 37 RBIs, leads the league in stolen bases, second in batting average, leads the league in runs scored, third in slugging and on base percentage. And he takes ball one. Another good crowd on hand here. They had 37,000 last night. They're hoping to go over 1 million tomorrow. They may be on their way to the best year ever, Bill.
They early. Yes, it'll be the earliest they've gotten to 1 million.
Schramm falls behind 2-0. Control has been his problem. He has walked 36 batters, struck out 43 in 108 innings. Not much of a strikeout to walk ratio to write home about. He's outside with that one, 3-0. Laudner try to pull it back in. Rickey has walked 43 times this year. Second on the Yankees to Willie Randolph. Strike one.
What makes Henderson so dangerous, you just can't lay that 3-0 and 3-1 pitch in there. He'll hurt you. You can't hit the long ball. Swung through that.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Henderson. Last night, the Twins got hurt with Don Baylor swinging on a 3-0 pitch and hitting a home run that wound up winning the ball game for the Yankees.
A lot of leadoff men, you can be behind and lay that ball in there. You know they're not going to hit the home run, but Henderson, compactly built, he has good power.
11 home runs this year. Count is now full, 3-2. I think Schramm's taking a lot of time here. If he walks Henderson, then you'll see a lot of time.
Well, everybody gets a little nervous once Henderson gets to first base.
Center field, long run for Kirby Puckett, and it is over the fence for a home run. 3-2 pitch, and Rickey Henderson hits it to right center field. Puckett went back, and then I don't think he could quite believe it because it was over the wall, some 400 feet away, and the Yankees lead it 1-0.
And, hey, fans, you know what happens every time a Yankee hits a home run? Hey, Rickey Henderson, this bud's for you. That was not a bad pitch. That ball was all over the plate, and it looked like it might have been on the outside corner. Came back in a little bit, though. It came back in, and that's when Henderson hit it straight away center field for his 12th home run of the year.
A lot of
120 feet.
420.
Yeah.
A lot of power indeed. Rickey Henderson gives the Yankees a 1-0 lead.
Will history repeat,
That's
Spencer?
right. It was Henderson and Griffey back-to-back shots at the stadium a couple of weeks ago. It will no foul ball. 1-1. Randy Bush, who doesn't see much action in the field. Last night, Stenhouse played first base. Ken Herbeck's shoulder still hurting. Look in the Yankee dugout. Bobby Meacham, Dan Pasqua. Count is 1-1 to Griffey, who had his 11-game hitting streak snapped last night. 2-1. Base hit for Ken Griffey. So Henderson homers, Griffey singles to center, and the Yankees have a runner on. Still nobody out here in the first inning.
And here's Griffey waiting on the pitch and slaps it just where it's pitched. It's pitched away, hits it into right center field. Ball really hustles to the outfield. It gets out there quickly, and Puckett, an ideal center fielder for this artificial surface.
He's off at the crack of the bat. Here's Mattingly. Don Mattingly hitting now at .308. Leads the league in RBIs and in doubles. Had a triple and a single last night. Takes down low ball 1. So Schramm getting into trouble right here. After losing to the Yankees 6-3. He got beat by Baltimore and then snapped a personal 3-game losing streak and beating the Tigers 6-4. Down low, ball 2, 2-0.
Well, Mattingly's going to make Schramm get the ball up. Schramm looking in at home plate umpire Larry Young. So far, Young has not given him that low pitch. And the Yankees haven't swung at it.
Got it up there that time, Bill.
Got it up higher.
Strike one, 2 balls, 1 strike to Don Mattingly. Mattingly with 105 base hits this year. That's 5th in the American League. Griffey on at first. Throw came over a little bit high. At least Bush was kind of taken aback by it, Bill. 2-1. Schramm doesn't have that good a move toward first base. Outside, 3-1.
Griffey started then and slipped, and he was quite fortunate that he did slip because that pitch actually became a pitch out. He had started towards second base and slipped and decided he better not try it. Watch Griffey here. He'll start, slips there, and stops. He's been a dead duck at second base.
Pitch came high and outside, and a good pitch to throw on.
Now he'll probably be moving.
3-1 to Mattingly. Griffey is going, and Mattingly goes to left field. Foul ball. Count goes full, 3-2. And a souvenir. And Griffey comes back to first.
And he'll start again on this 3-2 pitch. Mattingly does not strike out that often. We saw last night he took a pitch. He took a called third strike for the first time in quite a while.
Ken Schramm getting into a bit of a hole here. Count is full, 3-2. There goes Griffey, and the pitch is fouled away again.
So far this year, Spencer Mattingly has struck out 27 times, and he's been up 344 times as we looked at the right-hander Rick Lysander throwing early in the Minnesota bullpen. We're still in the first inning.
Schramm has 5 complete games to his credit. This is 19th start. And Griffey is back. Count is full to Mattingly. In his last 3 starts, last 4 starts, he has not gone more than 5 1/3 innings. And he's getting himself in trouble here. Griffey at first, 3-2 pitch. There goes Griffey. Ball is inside, ball 4. And Mattingly walks. Griffey slid in. And there are now runners at first and second.
We mentioned we're talking about Mattingly getting the bat on the ball last year. He struck out only 33 times in 603 appearances. So he's ahead of that this year. As the play is made at second base, we look at Ray Miller, the new manager of the Minnesota Twins. We're sort of chuckling because the big prop up here now seems to be Miller chewing tobacco.
That's right.
And he's trying to break that habit. We saw him blow a bubble. Evidently,
that was a front page story.
Front page story here in Minnesota. Who was that lady with the Cancer Society?
Yeah, she's, I believe, a pediatrician. She feels that seeing the kids' heroes, so to speak,
on smokeless tobacco, supposedly.
Spit and juice.
Well, the big story, too, is evident. They feel, at least, that smokeless tobacco, you can still become ill. Chewing, I guess. Is that what you call it?
Chawing. Chawing. Dave Winfield. Nobody out. Runners at first and second, and he takes the strike. Winfield had a couple of singles last night, scored a run. And
sorry, it's a little funny to see Miller chewing bubble gum instead of spitting tobacco.
Take a look at that shift. It's not as exaggerated tonight, Bill, as it was last night. Tonight, the second baseman playing to the right of the bag. Ron Washington at second tonight. Last night against both Winfield and Baylor, they had the second baseman playing to the left of second base. 1-1 to Winfield. Inside ball 2. Winfield flirting with the 300 mark, hitting at 299. And Ken Schramm flirting with disaster here in the first inning.
A little tough to continue to pitch from behind in this ballpark. You got to get ahead of the batters here.
Got the inside corner, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Made a visit to Dave Winfield's hometown today. St. Paul. Took one of those old Mississippi River paddle boats, the old gambling boats, down the Mississippi to Fort Snelling. Amazing river. Sitting up here in Minnesota at a big summer festival in St. Paul. Fouled away just to our right. And the count holds 2-2.
You don't like to miss a pitch like that. That was right there. You don't too often see a pitch right down the middle of the plate where you want it. You don't like to foul it back.
2-2 to Winfield. Inside, ball 3. 3-2. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Yankees have scored once on a leadoff Rickey Henderson home run. And Ray Miller's chewing away, not chawing away tonight. That's Griffey in the bottom of your screen. He singled after Henderson's home run. Moved to second when Mattingly drew a base on balls.
They might hold the runners here. Winfield has struck out 49 times.
And they do just that. Winfield breaks the bat. He dropped it and hits it into the corner. Griffey will score. Mattingly will go to third. And Winfield will be in with a stand-up double. And the Yankees lead it by a score of 2-0.
That strength. He sort of threw that bat at the ball away from him and ripped it into the left field corner. We mentioned how fast this surface is. That ball jumped out into that left field corner at the 343 mark. Here it is again. Winfield way outside, loses a bat, but that's a line drive, a smash over Gallietti head, and it'll go to the wall. Griffey scores easily. Mattingly will go on to third. Winfield at second base with his 54th run batted into the year. And that also brought Ray Miller, the manager of the Minnesota Twins, out. And that's going to be all for Ken Schramm. Here it is again. See Winfield throwing the bat. And getting a double and a run batted in. Yankees now lead 2-0. And that's all for Ken Schramm. He will not be charged with an inning pitched. And he's given up 2 runs. And Mattingly at third and Dave Winfield at second base are the responsibility of Ken Schramm. So his ERA will go back up to around 6. Make plans now to join the Yankees in saluting the Scooter on Sunday, August 4th, when it'll be Phil Rizzuto Day at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees will honor Phil with pre-game festivities and entertainment before the Yankees play the Chicago White Sox. The game will start at 2, and all fans in attendance will take home a commemorative Phil Rizzuto edition of Yankee Magazine. Compliments of Utoni. Good seats are on sale now, so make plans to be on hand to join the Yanks in saluting their greatest shortstop ever, Phil Rizzuto, Sunday, August 4th.
I'll tell you, the Scooter is missing some weekend here in Minnesota, because last night, and I figure he's watching tonight, what he missed on television here, he missed an Eddie Dean, the Singing Cowboy movie from about the late 30s, and tonight, Scooter, Lash LaRue is on in the Late Show, and I know Lash LaRue is one of Scooter's favorites. Lash LaRue kind of talked a little like Humphrey Bogart, but he wore a cowboy outfit. And there's Ken Schramm.
He's trying to figure out what happened. He'll get a chance to go look at some of those movies you're talking about early. Of course, he certainly did not want that to be the case. But Schramm pitched to 4 batters in the first inning, gave up a leadoff home run to Rickey Henderson on a 3-2 pitch. A single to right center to Griffey. He walked Mattingly, and then Winfield. Double in Griffey. And we're looking at Rick Lysander. Lysander is making his 27th appearance for the Minnesota Twins. It's his 26th relief appearance. He's made one start. He has no wins, 2 losses, and 3 saves. Spencer?
Okay, and he will face Ron Hasse. This is his 3rd appearance against the Yankees. His 1 start came against the Yankees. That was the 2nd game of that doubleheader at the stadium that the Yankees clobbered the Twins 14-2. He lasted only 2 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 5 runs. This will score a run as Washington makes the play to Bush at first base. Give Hasse an RBI as Mattingly scores, and the Yankees lead it now by a score of 3-0. That run to be charged to Ken Schramm. And Winfield moving over to third base. So the book is not yet closed on Ken Schramm. Don Baylor will step in now. Yankees lead it 3-0, and they're still at bat here in the 1st inning. Fouled away, strike 1. Strike 2 as it's fouled at the plate. Now, I was reading something about Dave Stieb recently, where he was, Stieb was originally an outfielder in college, had pitched very little, and he said when you're pitching, you're reliant on the people behind you to make the plays. Well, the reverse holds true. As you take a look at Ken Schramm, his fielders are relying on him to make the good pitches. And, it works both ways.
Well, it's a team game, as you mentioned.
Pitches outside to Baylor. 1-2.
Twins want to cut down this run, Spence. They've brought their infield, and I'd hate to play in on this side. You get killed playing it.
It's tough. 1 man away. And Baylor fouls it off his body again. Standing out there earlier, my son Jonathan, and he was bouncing a ball, and he's about 5'1". The ball was just normal bounce, Bill. Bounces over his head. Not with any velocity.
Spongy.
1-2 to Baylor. Fouled out of play. Baylor's home run in the 5th inning last night in a 3-0 pitch turned out to be the game winner for the Yankees. And a souvenir. Got some good fielders in the stands here in Minnesota. A couple of good plays tonight.
Kid had a Yankee hat on.
Well, I said, you see a lot of Yankee hats everywhere you go. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rick Lysander on in relief of Ken Schramm. We're still in the top half of the 1st inning. Winfield leading from 3rd. And this one has popped up back out of play again. Baylor's home run last night gave him 62 RBIs. He is tied with Kirk Gibson for 2nd place in the American League in that category. Fouled away again. A long at bat for Don Baylor, and a long top of the 1st for the New York Yankees. Twins had won 5 of 6 and 6 of their last 8. Going into last night's ball game. Good play by Gaetti as he holds Winfield and throws on to Bush for the second out. So the strategy works as Baylor bounces right to Gary Gaetti.
We saw Gaetti make some excellent plays last night. Excellent third baseman. He'll come up here and he'll fake Winfield back, make sure he stops, and he makes a good strong throw of the first base. They had Baylor by plenty. Now the infield will go back for Randolph.
2 men away. Randolph hitting at .288 with 9 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 25 RBIs. 2 for 4 last night. Doubled and scored a run and then had an RBI single. That's a ball, 1-0.
Well, Guidry's been sitting on that bench quite a while. Might need a few extra throws.
His top half of the first inning has taken nearly 25 minutes. Strike one. Randolph started the year slowly with the bat and then quickly turned it around. And has been up around 280, 290 for the last month and a half. They made a super defensive play last night. That's strike 2. On a double by Dave Engel. Winfield hit Randolph. And Willie Randolph's perfect throw to third base cut down Engel. That's Winfield at third, 2 men away. Yankees have scored 3 times here in the first inning. Washington makes the good play on a dime. The ball went bouncy bounce, and by the time Washington grabbed it, Randolph, scurrying down the line, has an infield hit. Winfield scores, and the Yankees lead it 4-0.
A lot of English on this ball. Here it is again. Randolph hits on top of it. Now it'll get to Washington. Watch that bounce there. Washington has to go high, comes back down, sets, throws. Randolph flying down the line, picks up a run batted in. His 26th of the year.
So
here's
that
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth?
Yeah. Mike Pagliarulo hit the ball in the upper deck here.
Oh, that's right. Last night, what a
Yeah.
shot. About 420, 430 feet away. Big home run for Pagliarulo. It gave the Yankees the early lead at 2-0. Pagliarulo with 7 home runs, 31 RBIs, and he takes a strike.
Over his last 27 games, he has hit 5 of those home runs and driven in 15 runs.
He's been hitting the ball, and his fielding shows it. He's been playing his position well. Sometimes a lack of the bat's going to hurt your fielding. Do you find that, Bill, when you start slumping?
No.
It does happen.
The better
with a lot of
players. It happens to some players, not the better players. You never take a slump out on the field with you. I think it might happen more with outfielders because they have a lot of time to sit out there and think about what they've done wrong with the bat. You can't do that around the infield. Get hit in the mouth with a ground ball. That'll wake you up.
Randolph on at first. There are 2 outs. The RBI by Randolph, that run charged to Ken Schramm, and that closes the book on him. He did not retire a batter, gave up 3 hits and 4 runs, and walked the batter. Lysander came on after Winfield's double, got Hasse and Baylor, but Randolph singled. Scored Dave Winfield.
Oh, Randolph wants time. Something might be up here. Now he called time. They didn't give it to him, and Willie Horton's upset, but first base umpire Rick Reed said, "I didn't give you time." So they pick Randolph off.
A weird way to end an inning. You saw Willie Randolph say, "I want timeout," and the first base umpire, Rick Reed, didn't give it to him. Billy Martin comes out to argue this. The Twins are already in the dugout.
Well, as long as the umpire does not give you time, it's no time. So that argument obviously will be lost. You can ask for time as much as you want, but if they don't give it to you, it's no time. So that's a play. Randolph is out.
So the side retired. The Yankees score 4 runs on 4 hits. And we'll take a look at it right here.
Well, we mentioned Willie wanting time there, but the umpire has to say time. Reed did not do that, and he did not get time. Now, for some reason, he'll walk off. Now, watch him. He'll walk off here, and he'll get picked off. And then he'll start arguing again. Obviously, it's a pickoff. He's out.
Okay, first half inning, 4 runs for the Yankees. The side retired, and the Twins are coming to bat. Will step to the plate. You mentioned last night, Bill, Ray Miller trying to utilize a lot of people on this ball club, make them all feel they're part of the team, and we're seeing good examples of it tonight. Randy Bush playing first, Ron Washington at second base.
Of course, Ray Miller probably taking a page out of the book of Earl Weaver. He was pitching coach for Earl Weaver, and I think one of the first things he said when he got here is that I want to use all 25 people as much as I can, as often as I can.
This one fouled away, strike 1. Washington has been to bat only 55 times with 11 hits. Ron Guidry with a record of 12 and 3.
4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 base on ball, 1 home run for a total of 24 pitches.
There's a strike. 0 and 2. Guidry in his last 7 starts in 59 innings has an earned run average of 1.21. He's given up 8 earned runs. Pagliarulo. Error will go to Pagliarulo as Mattingly tried to make the scoop. And Pagliarulo upset with himself. Had plenty of time and just threw it low.
Didn't follow through on the ball. He had plenty of time to follow through, and the ball might have carried for him, but he didn't get much body behind it. Here's again a slider that Washington chops to Pagliarulo. Ball just goes down, and Mattingly could not hold on to it. Oh, he got that back foot caught up through a sinker. Normally on this surface, the ball bounces through. The first baseman has a good shot at catching the short hops.
Here's Dave Engel. Engel, the designated hitter. And he takes ball 1. Engel hitting at .304. He's been to bat only 46 times. Washington leads from first. This could be 2. Meacham to Randolph. 1 double play. 6-4 to 3. The side retired. After 1, it's the Yankees 4 and the Twins nothing.
On that play at first base, and they tried to explain to Billy Martin what had happened. And right now, Rick Reed talking to Yankee first base coach Willie Horton about that same play. I think a lot of players think, Spencer, that if they call time, then it's time. But that, of course, I think they get used to that when they step away from the plate at home plate. They call it time normally, and for some reason, the umpires will give them time. But that doesn't happen all the time. The umpire has to. He's the one who controls time.
Your time is his time. Okay, here's Pagliarulo to lead it off for the Yankees. He was at the plate when Willie Randolph called time and wasn't given time and was picked off, and Pagliarulo lashes a single to right field. The second base hit off Lysander, and the Yankees picking up where they left off in the first inning when they scored 4 runs. Bobby Meacham will step in. Meacham hitting now at .234. 10 doubles, 2 triples, and 31 RBIs. Outside is Meacham. Shortened up to sacrifice.
Leading 4-0, we might see Martin go from the sacrifice to the hit and run here, or the run and hit.
Pagliarulo on at first. Yankees with a 4-0 lead. And this pitch is fouled away. Pagliarulo is not going. And we've got some activity down in the bullpen, Bill.
Well, a left-hander loosening up for the Minnesota Twins, Kurt Wardle.
Rick Lysander on the mound. Let's see if the Yankees go back to the bunt right here. Count is 1-1. And they do, and a good bunt by Meacham. It'll move Pagliarulo to second. And the throw over to Bush at first for the out. Good bunt by Bobby Meacham, and the sacrifice works.
Well, normally on this surface, it's hard to bunt, but somehow Meacham got backspin on the bunt, didn't go too far. Goes out there and really bounces slowly, and there's only one play for Lysander as Bush got back to first base.
And Meacham really got down the line. So we're back to the top of the Yankee order. Rickey Henderson. Schramm went behind him 3-0. Then worked it to 3-2. Then Henderson smashed a home run to straightaway center field, 420 feet away to start the ball game. And the Yankees wound up scoring 4 times in the first inning. Strike one. Henderson hitting now at 354. George Brett started the day at 357. Kansas City had 9 base hits today. Brett had at least one, a home run. Right field. Brunansky is there. Tagging up is Pagliarulo on his way to third, and he didn't slide. Base running mistake by Mike Pagliarulo. He did not slide into third base, and Brunansky with a perfect throw to double him up 9-5. The side retired after an inning and a half. It's the Yankees 4 and the Twins nothing.
Well, Tom Brunansky picked up his 7th assist, and he made a strong throw to third base, and Mike Pagliarulo forgot to slide when he was decoyed just a little bit by the third baseman, Gary Gaetti, and he was thrown out easily. Spencer?
Okay, we go to the bottom of the second.
You know what will remind you to slide? A little fine here or there.
A little fine will remind
Take some of
anybody.
your money.
And the man who made that throw, Brunansky, leads it off and takes ball one.
You'll have guys sliding all over the place.
Oh, yeah. As you said, though, and not making an excuse for Pagliarulo, that decoy, Gaetti just kind of stood there like the throw wasn't coming. But Gene Michael was.
Gene Michael was on his
telling
knees.
him, slide,
Yep.
and that's the man you got to listen to. Brunansky hitting a 263.
Listen to the other guy, you'll be at Columbus.
That's right. 2 balls, no strikes. Around the batting cage earlier today, Brunansky talking with Rickey Henderson. As Rickey walked away, he said, "Be quiet, Rickey. Be quiet tonight." And he hasn't been. Home run to lead off the ball game. There's a strike, 3-1. Brunansky, a patient power hitter. He's walked 50 times. And, of course, a tough man to get a base on balls from Ron Guidry, who has walked only 19 men in 147 1/3 innings. And now the count runs to 3-2. When he beat Minnesota on July the 4th, Guidry struck out 8, did not walk a batter. Yankees won the game 3-2. 3-2 pitch deep to left field. Griffey in foul territory makes the play. That ball hung up there, and there's one man away. First left the bat, Phil. Looked like it was going a heck of a lot further.
And Griffey caught the ball well shy of the wall in foul territory.
So one man away. And Gary Gaetti steps in. As Bill mentioned, a couple of good defensive plays last night. And a good defensive play on that throw by Brunansky as he decoyed Pagliarulo, and Pagliarulo came in standing up and was tagged out. Strike one. Gaetti with 11 home runs, had only 5 in 1984. One and one. Fouled out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gary Gaetti. Yankees with a 4-0 lead close out this series tomorrow afternoon. Phil Niekro looking to move a step closer to victory number 300. We'll go against the youngster from St. John's University, Frank Viola. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Guidry chalks up his first strikeout, and they're a 2 men away.
Kid took a little off the slider the pitch before this, and Gaetti fouled it back. Then he just reared back and put a little bit more on a fastball and struck him out.
The catcher, Tim Laudner, will step in. Laudner's been to bat only 92 times. Takes a strike. In those 92 at bats, he has struck out 30 times. Hitting at .217. Fouled away. And the count is 0-2.
Good play by Tom Kelly, the third base coach. Picked up the carom.
One and 2 pitch. This one hit to center field. Ricky Henderson is there. A 1-2-3 inning for Ron Guidry. Nothing across for the Twins through 2 innings of play. It's the Yankees 4, Minnesota nothing. Here's Ken Griffey to lead it off for the Yankees, top of the 3rd.
What kind of club they have?
They had a good time. I don't know. I don't know how well they played, but they had a good time. First pitch to Griffey is a strike. Griffey followed Henderson's home run in the first inning with a single to right. Had that 11-game hitting streak snapped last night, and he fouls this away 0-2. Yankees with 4 runs, 5 hits. Guidry has set the Twins down without a base hit through the first 2. Outside, 1-2. Rick Lysander on in relief of Kent Schramm, who pitched to only 4 batters in the first inning. Left field, Griffey goes with a pitch and hits it for a base hit. So Griffey is on, and Mattingly will come to the plate.
Ball tailing away from Griffey. One hopper to Dave Meyer out in left field. Base hit.
So here's Mattingly, who walked and came around to score the Yankees' 3rd run. Yankees lead it by a score of 4-0. Inside, ball 1. You played in Dallas. I know in Minneapolis you played a little center field. You play any center field when you were in Dallas?
No, they were smarter than the people in Minneapolis.
1-0 to Mattingly. This could be 2. Washington to Gagne for 1. Double play. 4-6-3. And they're a 2 men away here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Well, the one thing you don't worry about on this surface is a bad hop. Washington stays right there, makes a good hard throw to Gagne. He dances over Guidry for the double play.
So 2 men away. Winfield will come in. Anheuser-Busch, Brewers of Budweiser and Michelob would like to remind you that the 1985 Hispanic World's Fair will be held at the New York Coliseum Friday, July 26th through Sunday, July 28th. See entertainment and examples of Hispanic cultures from throughout the world. Tickets are available at the New York Coliseum box office. Winfield takes a strike. Winfield doubled over Gaetti's head in the first inning. Drove home a run. And that was it for Ken Schramm, who did not retire any of the 4 batters that he faced. Strike 2.
Dave said, that's high. He said, I'm 6'6", 6'7", but that's a little bit too high in the strike zone. And of course, home plate umpire Larry Young said no. It was right there. Here it is again. Let's see how high or low or whatever. And it was outside, too. Well, Dave obviously a bit upset. He heard him say strike. What?
Well, here's the 0-2. Gagne at short. No runs, a hit. The Yankees do not leave any batters via the double play route, and through 2.5, it's still 4-0 New York. And Ron Guidry to face the bottom third of the Minnesota batting order. Dave Meyer, Greg Gagne, and Randy Bush. Twins had 1 base runner. Washington reached on an error by Pagliarulo in the first, but Engel then bounced into a double play. Strike 1. Meyer's been to bat only 46 times, has 1 RBI, 7 base hits, hitting at 152. Up high, 1-1. Ron Guidry looking for his 13th win of the year in his 12th straight. Popped up. Randolph, and he stays with it for the first out. And one thing we really have to mention here, there has not been any problem with any balls hit into the air, except Ron Hassey had some problems last night. I asked him about it, Bill. He said, you just can't see it. It just blends right in as soon as it comes up behind the plate.
Well, I think what happens as soon as the ball goes up, the catcher's got to spin around and find it. If you turn around after the ball goes up, you're in a bit of trouble because Salas had no problem.
No.
But he got around right away, and of course, Hassey should go to school on Salas.
But the fielders haven't had any problems here. They've made corrections to those lights from early in the year. Strike 1 to Greg Gagne, the shortstop. The old-time wrestling fans might question the pronunciation, because back many years ago, there was not that many years ago, before Hulk Hogan, there was a guy named Vern Gagne who was the heavyweight champion wrestler.
That slider out of the strike zone, slapped away by Hassey.
0-1 to Gagne. 0-2.
Well, it'll be interesting, Spencer's latter part of the season, to see whether the hitters will figure Guidry out. Now they're probably going up still looking for that hard fastball that moves a little bit and that real hard slider, and he's throwing a couple other pitches plus some off-speed pitches. And it's a constant battle, pitcher and the hitter.
He threw the fastball there, and it's popped up. Mattingly has room, and he makes the catch. So 2 men away. But one thing about Guidry, he is getting ahead of the hitters, and that of course is such a big edge. He has fallen behind only 1 batter in the first 8 thus far tonight, and that was Bernansky. Went behind him 3-0, went to 3-2, and then Bernansky flied out to Griffey. Here's Randy Bush, the first baseman. Made a base running error last night on a double, tried to stretch it into a triple late in the ball game with his team down by 2 runs. And a perfect relay from Winfield to Randolph to Pagliarulo cut him down. There's a strike. 1-1. Bush is sitting at .237 with 8 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs, 20 RBIs. Two and one.
Takes so much less out of your body to pitch like Guidry's pitching. Used to rear back, and every time he turned the ball loose, throw it as hard as he could, and he'd grunt. But now this is a little easier. Just having fun. Runs the hitters crazy, too. You can strike a guy with a good pitch. He says, well, he's got good stuff. Then you get him out with junk. He gets upset.
At this stage of his career, though, he had to make these alterations.
I think so, and I think obviously he's made them, and he's made those changes well.
And made them quickly, really. The transformation process took him, I guess, about a year before the realization came. Mattingly, he'll make it unassisted. And through 3 innings, the Twins are still looking for a base hit. Nothing across in the bottom of the third. Through 3, it's the Yanks 4 and the Twins nothing. Bill White with the Yankees leading it by a score of 4-0. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. The Twins with no runs, no hits, and no errors. The Yankees getting their runs in the first inning when they knocked Kent Schramm out. Ricky Henderson led it off with a home run. Griffey singled, Mattingly walked, Winfield double home run. And then Ron Hassey's ground ball scored the 3rd run as we look at Dennis Rasmussen in the Yankee dugout. And Willie Randolph's single made it 4-0. And it'll be Hassey, Baylor, and Willie Randolph here against Rick Lysander in the top of the 4th inning. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Hassey drove in a run with a bounce out in that first inning. It was Hassey's 14th run batted in this year. He's doing a lot of catching against right-handers. And Hassey takes a strike. Two strikes on Ron Hassey. They try to keep the ball in on Hassey. And the count's 0-2. Yankees 4 runs, 6 hits. Minnesota Twins, no runs, no base hits.
You know, early in the year, Bill, remember the Yankees went to Texas. And Billy Martin put Hassey in a ball game to hit against Charlie Huff. And he had a big ball game, 4 RBIs. But not until Butch Weiniger got hurt did this transpire.
And Ron Washington, the second baseman, throws out Hassey for the first out. Well, there's one down here in the 4th inning, and the batter will be Don Baylor. We look at this play again.
Hassey goes down for that pitch, and Washington with the easy play to first base. During Weiniger's absence, Hassey showed that he could hit the ball and hit it consistently.
Baylor has been up once, bounced to 3rd, and that's foul off 3rd. Gene Michael had to get down. Ball kicks back in fair territory, so there's no balls and a strike on Baylor. Don hit his 16th home run last night, and as Spencer mentioned earlier, it was the difference in the ball game as the Yankees won by 2. A ball and a strike on Baylor. I saw something in the paper today I couldn't believe. They're going to kick Keith Hernandez out of a ball game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
if he
about
doesn't
that.
get the left foot back in fair territory.
There seemed to be a lot of, I've heard a lot of talk about it.
That's never been called since I've been around baseball.
The rule book does say,
The rule
though.
book says everybody's got to be within fair ground. But it's never, that's one thing that's never called.
And he
First
does.
thing they do, Spencer, correlation, something that might correlate with that is the catcher's box. First thing you do when you come out from the dugout, you wipe that out.
You're not allowed to do that either.
Nope. Once again, Gaetti with a good play at 3rd base, and there are 2 outs. Every left-handed first baseman I know puts that left foot in foul territory, so all they've got to do is drop the ball down. It gets the tag down quicker. And I've never heard it called. I did it 14 years.
Apparently somebody made a
Somebody get
mention of it, and it got looked at, and the rule book says, but it's one of those rules that has just been disregarded for so many years, and now.
No, somebody's getting technical.
Yeah.
Willie Randolph, high chopper to short. Gagney's there. That'll retire the side. An easy inning for Rick Lysander. 3 ground ball outs, and at the end of 3.5 innings of play, the Yankees 4, Twins nothing.
He's a big part of the Yankee legend.
The Da Vinci of the double play.
Cora Rizzuto must be a saint.
Scooter is one of a kind, I hope.
Holy cow, it's Phil Rizzuto Day.
A big day for a little huckleberry like that. Phil who?
Sunday, August 4th at 2 p.m. against the Chicago White Sox. It's Phil Rizzuto Day. Be there when the Yankees pay tribute to one of their greatest heroes.
I think he was born wearing pinstripes, but they were tiny ones.
This Bud's for everybody who sets them up just so they can knock them down. They're league bowlers, and they know that when you join a league, you get rolling. The competition, the excitement with good times to spare. You find it all in the leagues at your local bowling center. And league bowlers can compete in the Budweiser Hall of Fame tournament coming this winter. So join a league and get rolling. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
She told me no one would get killed.
What the hell do you want anyway? Ow! Ow!
Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw, 2 bank robbers on the run. The Getaway. Tonight at midnight on Channel 11.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Burger King. Come on in and try the big beefy taste of Burger King's new Whopper sandwich. Con Edison serving New York and Westchester. And by Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. We go to the 4th inning. Yankees holding on to a 4-0 lead over the Minnesota Twins. And back to the top part of the Minnesota order with Kirby Puckett, Ron Washington, and Dave Engel to face Ron Guidry. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Puckett bounces short his first time up, and he'll do it again if Meacham hurries. And there's one down. Puckett hitting on the first pitch, bouncing out 6-3. And there's one down. Guidry has pitched to the minimum amount of Twins. That's a double play in the first. Here's again.
Well, here's Meacham, has to hurry that throw because Puckett can get down the line, and a good arm shown by Meacham for the first out.
Ron Washington, he got on an error, throwing error, charged to Mike Pagliarulo in the first inning. Over Pack's head, game's first base hit for the Twins, and Washington will go for 2, and he'll make it.
Well, he's got good speed, and the ball just bounced over Pagliarulo's head, so the Twins have their first base hit of the ball game, and their second base runner, as we watch it again, just hit right at the plate, and you see where Pagliarulo was playing, even with the right-handed hitter up. Here's Pagliarulo playing short of the bag, and the ball bounces over his head. So Washington is on at second, and the Twins have their first runner in scoring position. We have one out here on the top of the 4th, and Dave Engel stepping in.
Engel grounded into a double play in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. That slider's low, ball 1. Yankees leading 4-0. They have 4 runs on 6 hits. The Twins, no runs, and the double by Ron Washington, their first base hit. Guidry had retired 8 in a row before Washington's base hit. 2-0 on Engel. Hits well against left-handers. Did not get much playing time with Billy Gardner, but Ray Miller has used him more. Batting at .298 now with 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in. That'll hook foul down the left side. 2-1. Brunetsky in the background getting some practice cuts in. Well, the count 2 balls, 1 strike on Dave Engel. Ron Guidry. That's a fair ball in the corner. Washington will score. Engel will go for 2. And the throw's offline as Randolph got hung up with second base umpire Greg Kost. But Don Mattingly alertly backed up. The Yankees now lead 4-1.
Back-to-back doubles. Engels. A clean line drive as we watch it again. Washington will score easily. Ball hits about 8 feet inside the line. Griffey has to make a complete pirouette. His throw off the line. And watch Willie Randolph here as he bangs into Greg Kost, the second base umpire. But fortunately for the Yankees, Don Mattingly was right behind to pick up the ball. The Twins on the board. It's 4-1 now. And Bernansky steps in.
Bernansky fouled Griffey down the left field line his first time up. He's 0 for 1. And the pitch is a strike on Brunansky. 19 home runs, 57 runs batted in for the Minnesota Twins this year. One and one.
Bruno Brunansky.
He's on his way to his best year ever. Popped up. And a broken bat. Don Mattingly taking charge for out number 2. How much those bats cost now? About $8 a piece?
I would think so.
Well, Brunansky just broke his favorite bat. How about that pop-up? Watch it here.
Takes the big cut. The bat breaks.
No, broke right there.
Oh, that's where it broke it. Okay.
He actually thought it was the bat's fault. So there are 2 outs. Engel still at second base. The batter is Gary Gaetti, who struck out on a high fastball in the second inning. Engel still at second base. Yankees still leading now 4-1. Strike 1 on Gaetti. We understand from the Elias Sports Bureau that George Brett went 2 for 4 today, so he's batting just a point under 360. Henderson so far 1 for 2. He's probably around 353. 2 strikes on Gaetti.
Guidry goes through that routine. Back behind the mound, 10, 12 feet. Talks to himself a bit and comes back.
You ever see Al Raboski?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was that was an exaggerated version of this.
Struck him out again. Guidry strikes out Gaetti for the second time in the ball game. That'll retire the side. A run on 2 hits, the man left. We played 4, and the Yankees lead Minnesota 4-1.
We're moving to the 5th inning here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with the Yankees leading the Twins by a score of 4-1. Ron Guidry looking for his 13th win of the year. Rick Lysander came on in the 1st inning for the Twins after the Yankees scored 4. Tony O, talking about hitters. Tony Oliva, now a first base coach for the Minnesota Twins. And look at some of the Twin fans in attendance here tonight. Is Tony looking up there? Pagliarulo to lead it off for the Yankees as we go to the 5th of this 4-1 game. Bill?
And Pagliarulo singled to right field in the second, but was cut down trying to go from second to third on a fly ball to right by Ricky Henderson. Bags is 1 for 1 in the game. Now batting an even .230. Hit his 7th home run last night under the upper deck here. Went over 420 feet. That's foul off first base. Lysander has had the Yankees hitting the ball on the ground after relieving Ken Strom, who had the Yankees hitting the ball in the air.
There's been only one outfield putout since Lysander came on.
That is to left field, and Dave Meyer for the putout. One away. We're playing Paliulo well over into left center, and Meyer had a long run, but he ran it down.
A lot of people working at the ballpark. Photographer's cage, one of the TV cameras.
Here's Bobby Meacham, sacrificed in the second inning, so he has not been at bat officially yet. He sacrificed Paxton to second base. Now he tries to bunt for a base hit, and they'll have him. Ball stayed right out in front of the plate for Tim Laudner. 2 outs.
Meacham last time laid down a perfect sacrifice bunt as he dragged the ball down the first baseline. This time he had the same idea, and he pushed it, and it just didn't get enough spin on it to head forward. An easy play for Laudner, but Meacham down that line pretty quickly, but they're 2 men away.
And that'll bring up Ricky Henderson. Henderson hit his 12th home run of the year, leading off the ball game on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Then fly to right field in the second. Paliulo tagging at third, tagging at second, trying to go to third. He was decoyed by Gary Gaetti, who tagged him out. Henderson now at 353, 6 points behind George Brett. Brett at 359. Gaetti, off balance for the third out. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. The Yankees 4, the Twins 1. Let's pause for station identification.
Compliments of Enkelon. Good seats are on sale for the White Sox series. Enkelon Yankee Tote Bag Day on the 3rd, and of course the 4th. It's Phil Rizzuto Day at Yankee Stadium. Bill?
All right, Spencer, and Tim Laudner takes high, ball 1, leading off against Guidry. We're in the 5th inning. The Yankees 4, the Twins 1. Laudner's been up once and flied to Henderson in center field. 2-0. Twins got their first base hit and their first run off Guidry last inning. A double by Ron Washington, and then a double by Dave Engel driving in Washington.
Saying before, there's Guidry taking that walk back behind the mound. Hrabowski, though, he really was talking to people. You couldn't see him. I couldn't see him. But they were there when he took that walk.
Demons?
Yeah, whatever.
3-0. And he got the green light on a 3-0, and that's a home run for Tim Laudner. His 5th home run of the year. Just over the fence at the 343 mark in the left field corner. Yankees now lead 4-2.
And kind of a deja vu. You saw it last night. 3-0. Don Baylor got the green light and just hit one just about into the same exact spot into left field for a 2-run home run. And this time on 3-0, it's Tim Laudner stepping into this one. Hit it on the line and just over that 343-foot sign to make it a 4-2 game.
Dave Meyer has just popped the Randolph for the first out. And there's one down. That home run, by the way, by Laudner, his 5th. And that'll bring up Greg Gagne, the shortstop, who fouled automatically in the 3rd inning. Yankees now lead 4-2 over Minnesota. That's foul. The 14th home run given up this year by Ron Guidry. Phil Niekro has given up 15. Joe Cowley 14. Ed Whitson 10. And Dennis Rasmussen 9. A ball and a strike on Greg Gagne. Into shallow right center. Winfield and Winfield as Henderson decides to give way. 2 down. I wonder if there's any correlation between home runs given up and hit batters. Yankee pitchers have hit 7 this year and given up now 83 home runs.
I know the point you're making.
No, I'm not making a point. I'm just looking at the stats because they're right next to each other. Here's Randy Bush, and he takes a strike.
Might there be fewer home runs if there were more hit batsmen?
Well, the stats are right next to each other, home runs and hit batters. And that's a caught by Bobby Meacham. A looper to shallow left. Meacham ran it down for the 3rd out. 1 run on the home run by Tim Laudner. And at the end of 5 innings of play, the Yankees 4, Twins 2. And we'll watch it again. Good play by Meacham. 4-2 Yankees after 5.
As the Twins finally getting some base hits off Ron Guidry, who had no hit them through the first 3 1/3 innings. A couple of doubles in the 4th by Washington and Engel, producing a run, and then on a 3-0 pitch, Tim Laudner's home run makes this a 4-2 ball game. Look at some of this crowd here. We haven't gotten an attendance figure yet. There were 37,000 on hand last night, and I'd say the number will be in that area for this evening's ball game. There were 43,000 for the opening game on Thursday afternoon. For the Yankees, it'll be Ken Griffey, Don Mattingly, and Dave Winfield to face Rick Lysander in a 4-2 game. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Griffey 2 for 2 in the game, both his base hit singles. And Lysander has done an excellent job of holding the Yankees in check since he came on in that first inning. Griffey takes the ball. You mentioned he's kept the ball down and thrown a lot of ground balls. All 4 runs charged to the starter, Ken Schramm. Two balls, no strikes on Griffey. Griffey now at 261.
That's Kurt Wardle, the left-hander, heating up in the Minnesota bullpen.
And that's way outside, ball 4. Griffey walks. That's the first walk given up by Lysander. So Griffey's been on base all 3 times so far in this game with 2 singles and a walk.
Lysander has not pitched more than 2 1/3 innings this year, except for 1 6-inning outing, and he just may be getting tired here. He went 6 innings against Milwaukee on June 1st. Since then, nothing more than 2 2/3 innings, and that may be it for him. He pitched very well, gave up no runs, 3 hits. That's the first walk he has surrendered. So Kurt Wardle coming from the bullpen. Now, while the pitching change is being made, let's take time out along the Yankee Baseball Network for the following message.
Nansky went back, looked like he might be able to catch the ball, and all of a sudden it just took off, and it's a home run for Don Mattingly on the first pitch. Mattingly's 10th home run of the year, his 71st and 72nd runs batted in. Yankees now lead 6-2.
And folks, you know what happens every time a Yankee hits a home run. Hey, Don Mattingly, this bud's for you. First pitch from Kurt Wardle. Right over the plate, Mattingly steps into it and hits it. And Bernansky turned around like he would have a play, but none at all.
That's way up there.
Yeah, way back there, and the Yankees now lead it by a score of 6-2.
And the batter's Dave Winfield. That ball went 407 feet, according to the instant measures here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Dave Winfield 1 for 2 in the game, and that's a ball. So Lysander goes 5 innings, gives up 1 run on 3 hits. Walked 1. Let's see if Gaetti has room here off third base. Nope, it'll be in the seats, 2 rows. A ball and a strike on Dave Winfield.
Until I walked to Griffey, Lysander had retired 8 straight Yankees. Good performance by Lysander, but Ken Schramm, the starter, just didn't have it tonight.
As he left, just before he left, Spencer, he looked at his fingers. I wonder if he had to leave because of a blister that was developing on his right hand. And Miller wasted no time going to get him after he walked Griffey on 4 pitches. 1-2 on Winfield. The Yankees have not played particularly well here in the Kingdome. They've won 10, lost 12 against the Twins here. And 11 of the last 14 games played here in Minnesota. 2-2 on Dave Winfield. Winfield getting good hacks at the left-hander, Kurt Wardle. Mattingly's run will be charged to Wardle. The run scored by Griffey charged to Rick Lysander.
Here's the big cut by Dave Winfield, and the ball just fouled straight back.
Changeup got him. A lot of motion, took a little off the ball. Winfield down on strikes for the first out.
Kurt Wardle registers his first out here. That ball dropped down a whole bunch, and Winfield with no opportunity at it. So there is now 1 man out.
And Ron Hasse batting. He's been up twice, bounced to second both times. And a base hit against the left-hander. And Hasse will hold at first with a single. Ron bounced to second in the first inning and drove in a run.
Well, Hasse continues to hit the ball. And he likes the offering from the left-hander. Just straight over the center of the plate. And a clean base hit for Ron Hasse. You know, Bill, we go back to that ball game at the stadium in which the Yankees battled back from 8-0. And while it was only 1 game, at the time we said it's the kind of game that can help turn a team around. And it did to an extent turn the Yankees around. It turned the Twins down. And the game that followed was the one in which the Yankees came from behind again. And Ken Griffey hit a grand slam home run off Kurt Wardle in that game. And Minnesota Billy Gardner's Twins just really never recovered from that situation at those 2 ball games. Watch this here as Baylor most definitely did go around, and a good call.
1-1 on Baylor. There's that change curve. Same pitch he struck out Winfield. 1-2. So Wardle changing speeds well. Twins get another right-hander up in their bullpen and throwing. Hasse at first. Of course, he's not a threat to steal. There's 1 out. 2-2 on Don Baylor. Curve missing. 3-2. He has to dive back in on that snap throw the first. Horton. Look, you're not going anywhere, I don't think, so don't get picked off. 3-2 on Baylor.
Almost threw that one away. See, Randy Bush. Look at Randy Bush's foot.
Well, it's on the line. That's fine. And Baylor goes down on strikes on a 3-2 change. And they're 2 outs with Hasse still at first base.
So Wardle picks up his second strikeout. And again, that change, it just drops down. Bottom
curve.
Falls out of it.
Yeah. Willie Randolph's a batter. Randolph a single and a run and bounced to short. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Yankees leading by a score of 6-4. Don Mattingly's 2-run home run here in the 6th off reliever Kurt Wardle. Check that, 6-2. Yankees 6, Twins 2. Straight away center field. And the center fielder, Puckett. 2 runs on 2 hits to man left. After 5.5 innings of play, the Yankees 6, the Twins 2.
The 6th inning, 6-2 New York, and here's Bill.
All right, Spencer Puckett's been out twice, and both times he's bounced to Bobby Meacham at short, and here he takes the ball. Puckett batting .275. He's 4 for 11 so far in the series against the Yankees. One and one. We gave you some scores earlier, ball games that have already been played. The Blue Jays lost to Oakland 5-1. So as of now, the Yankees 2 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays in the race for first in the American League East. Tim Burgess won his 6th. Former Yankee farmhand, 6-2.
Turning into a fine young pitcher for the Oakland A's.
Steve lost it. He's 9-6. 3-1 on Puckett.
Steve Pagliarulo playing rather short, but Puckett is always a threat to bunt, no matter what the score of the ball game.
Base hit for Kirby Puckett. Went right back up the middle.
And Puckett had some ideas and drew a throw from Ricky Henderson in center field. Watch it again. Guidry, as good a fielder as he is, just has to duck for cover on this one. As Puckett lines it straight back up the middle, and then Henderson bobbles the ball momentarily, and Puckett, after making the big turn, returns to first base.
Here's Ron Washington, who got the Twins first base at a double, a chopping double over Pagliarulo's head in the 4th inning. Ball 1. Kansas City beat Baltimore 7-5. Jackson the winner, Flanagan the loser. Flanagan coming off surgery to repair a torn Achilles tendon.
Baltimore right now 7.5 games behind, but with all the changes they've made, Bill, they could give a run in the second half.
They're always tough going down the wire. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ron Washington. California beat Boston 5-3. Witt the winner. Ojeda the loser. They had 33,000 at Fenway Park. In the National League, San Diego beat Pittsburgh 4-2. Steve Kemp, a home run and a losing cause for the Pirates. That's out of play. 36,000 in San Diego. Rich Gossage picked up his 20th save. And the Mets trounced Atlanta 16-4. A couple of home runs by Darryl Strawberry. His 9th and 10th.
Well, good races in every division in baseball. Only one that's got any margin of distance is the American League West. California now 5.5 up on Oakland, with the A's winning today.
1-2 on Washington. Lifted to left field. And over in left center now, Ricky Henderson in front of Griffey for the first out. And finally, the Cubs edged San Francisco 2-1. Each team just 4 base hits. Dick Ruthven over Atlee Hammaker. 15,000 for the afternoon game in San Francisco. Dave Engel. He's grounded into a double play and doubled in a run. 1 for 2 in the game. Yankees leading 6-2 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Popped up. Randolph. 2 outs. Tom Brunansky's fouled out and popped out. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Yankees so far have done a pretty good job with this fella. He's 1 for 8 now in the series. And he takes the ball inside.
I think it's kind of interesting. Brunansky, his first at bat, 3-0, and then Guidry battled back to 3-2. On the home run hit on the 3-0 pitch. That's the first time I've seen somebody swing at a 3-0 from Guidry this year. Well,
there are very few hitters will get the green light, but here I think you can give Greg Gagne the green light on 3-0. He might be able to hit one out.
Pitcher's got to be a little more careful here on 3-0 than in another ballpark, perhaps.
That slider's a strike. 2 balls and a strike on Brunansky. 19 home runs for Brunansky. 57 runs batted in. He's a .262 hitter. That'll be a foul ball. Puckett was moving on the pitch, and the ball hooked foul down the left side. Puckett will have to go back to first base, and it's 2-2 on Brunansky.
And he got a pretty good jump as we see Puckett taking off towards second base. And he'll have to come back as Brunansky steps back in. I think Brunansky might have broken his bat. Didn't sound like it.
Field, and Ken Griffey looking up in the air, and the side is retired. No runs, a base hit, and a man left on base. We played 6 on the Eastern Airlines scoreboard. The score, the Yankees 6, the Twins 2. Hitting, and here is Spencer Ross.
Okay, Bill. Pagliarulo will lead it off for New York. 1 for 2. Single in the 2nd inning. And then fly to left. Pags guilty of a base running mistake. After singling, he moved to second on Meacham's sacrifice, and then when Ricky Henderson lined out to Brunansky and right, he tagged up, went to third, and Gary Gaetti decoyed him. Pagliarulo didn't slide, and Gaetti put the tag on him. He'll slide next time.
Well, he might have checked out Ricky Henderson last night, or a couple nights ago. Maybe they don't like to slide on this surface. Playing inside, you figure you just ought to stand up, not get dirty.
Well, there's dirt there, though. Down around the base areas. Outside corner for a strike. 3-1 to Pagliarulo. Kurt Wardle on a relief of Rick Lysander. Came on after Lysander walked Griffey to start the 6th. And in the first pitch, Don Mattingly hit a 2-run homer. Good fastball there, 3-2. Interesting that Billy Martin, late in the ball game now, with the opportunity to make changes in the left-right situation. Pagliarulo stays in, Ron Hassey stays in. And Pagliarulo draws a walk.
Where they're leading, and you never can tell what might happen with the lead, and you keep those people on a bench. You can use them in case you have to later in the game.
So Pagliarulo walks. That's the first walk issued by Wardle, who, after giving up the home run to Mattingly, struck out 2 men in the 6th inning. Bobby Meacham sacrificed his first at bat, and this time he tries it again, but he pops it up, and Wardle is there to make the play. So Meacham sacrificed his first at bat, then tried to bunt for a base hit in the 5th, and was thrown out by the pitcher Lysander. And here the little pop up to the pitcher Wardle.
This time bunting from the right side, got under the ball.
So Pagliarulo remains at first, and we go back to the top of the order and Rickey Henderson. Henderson led off the ball game with a 3-2 pitch, home run, straightaway center field. Then line to right, and the play in which Pagliarulo was doubled up at third. And then on a check swing, bounced out to third baseman Gary Gaetti. So Henderson 1 for 3. Takes a strike. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Yankees, 1 run, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Twins. Got the inside corner, 0-2. Rickey Henderson didn't think so. That's inside, 1-2. Henderson just got back out of the way of that. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Henderson with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Yankees lead 6-2. Now Henderson looked back on that second called strike, and there seems to be a lot of controversy this year. How wide is that plate, Bill White?
17 inches. It's supposed to be.
Seems to be getting a little bit wider on both sides, you know, whatever the team, whatever the call.
Well, it's the inside National League protector. You look inside and guess outside. I've always felt.
This one fouled right back off the chest protector of Tim Laudner. And the count holds 1-2 to Rickey Henderson.
And when you umpire on one knee, it's awfully hard, I think, to umpire high-low. You're down, but you have to guess not only on a pitch away, but also on the height of the pitch. Now watch Larry Young hide inside. He'll hide behind the catcher and get down on one knee.
Henderson hits this to center field. Puckett cannot get it. Pagliarulo will have to hold at second, so Rickey Henderson is on with his second base hit of the ball game. And the Yankees have runners at first and second.
Well, Henderson gets jammed here, Spencer. Ball sliding in, just gets under it. Little tantalizing fly ball into center field. Pagliarulo decides to hold at second base. We mentioned that the center fielder, Kirby Puckett, has 14 assists this year.
Led the American League last year when he had 16. And here we are a little bit past the midway point. Ken Griffey takes strike 1.
Oh, it's hard to lead an assist 2 years in a row. The second year, the guy say, he can throw. Let's play it safe. Let's run him one base at a time.
They apparently are not yet convinced about young Kirby Puckett. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You feel the umpires, the catchers, can cheat a little more with the umps looking in, cheating in respect of bringing the ball back quickly toward a position where they'd like it to be. This could be 2 right here. Gagne did not double him up as Griffey gets down the line. 4th play, 4-6. And Henderson is retired. And they're now 2 men away.
Here it is again. Ron Washington up with the ball. He'll go to second to Gagne. Henderson gets a good run at Gagne. Makes him take an extra step to get out of the way. And obviously Griffey beats the relay back to first base.
So Griffey is on. Henderson retired. And Pagliarulo moves over to third. And Tim Laudner out at the mound to talk to the left-hander Kurt Wardle. Getting back to what I was saying here before that ground ball. Is it easier with the umpire peering in over the shoulder for a catcher to bring the ball back to where he would like it to be toward over the plate?
Well, I don't really think it makes much difference because the angle is tough for the umpire. As Johnny Podres goes out and he'll talk to Wardle. They want to talk about the first pitch to Mattingly. Mattingly jumped on Wardle's first pitch in the 6th inning and hit a home run, a two-run home run. So they're worried about that first pitch, and we might see that change curve here. But I think catcher really doesn't have to cheat because the umpire's looking at that outside pitch on an angle, and we've seen a lot of pitches that look like they might be outside called strikes on both teams. It's just the angle they're looking at rather than being directly over the catcher and looking inside outside. They're looking from the inside and looking out, and they have to guess on that pitch away. And there's that curveball. They decided to throw him a breaking ball instead of a fastball.
Mattingly jumped in that fastball, and this time that changed curve as we look at Griffey at first, Pagliarulo at third, 2 men out. Yankees lead 6-2, batting here on the top of the 7th inning. That got the outside corner, 1-1. A home run for Don Mattingly, his 10th of the year, his 71st and 72nd RBIs. Mattingly 1 for 2. Goes to left center field. That'll be up the gap, and it could score 2 runs. Griffey is rounding third. He'll come in to score. Mattingly will hold with a double. 2-run score, give Mattingly 74 RBIs to increase his league lead in that category, and his 28th double of the year. He also leads the American League in that department.
And here it is again. That's a fastball up, and Mattingly rips it into left center field, and once it hits its artificial surface, it'll take off. Look at it bounce. It'll go to the wall. Pagliarulo scoring easily. Buck it up with the ball. And Griffey will score. And that's going to be all for Mr. Wardle. We're going to get right-hander Mark Brown to come on and pitch to Dave Winfield as the Yankees now lead by 6.
A big night for Don Mattingly. Started off the game with a walk, scored a run, then bounced into a double play, but he liked Kurt Wardle. Home run for 2 runs and a 2-run double. So 4 RBIs for Mattingly. And 74 in the season, 28 doubles. And his batting average up now over .310. And Mark Brown will come on for Kurt Wardle here in the 7th inning. As Ray Miller checks the availability of his people on his lineup card.
Well, the Cleveland Indians will be at the stadium for a 3-game series Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, August 6th, 7th, and 8th. Highlighted by another summer giveaway. All fans 14 and under at the Yankee Cleveland Indian game on Wednesday afternoon, August 7th, will take home a free Yankee thermos. Compliments of Dellwood. Good seats are on sale now for all 3 Indian games. So make plans and remember Dellwood Yankee Thermos Day on Wednesday afternoon, August 7th, when the Yankees and the Indians meet at 1 o'clock. Oh, Mark Brown relieving Kurt Wardle, who came on in the 6th inning, went 1 2/3 innings. And he gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, including the 2-run home run and the 2-run double to Don Mattingly. Wardle struck out 2 and walked 1. Now Brown pitching to Dave Winfield. Spencer.
Winfield 1 for 3. Doubled home run in the first, bounced to short, and then struck out swinging. Brown making his 4th appearance of the year. He's pitched only 7 innings, given up 13 hits, 9 earned runs, and an earned run average of 11.57. Winfield still at that 299 mark. Fastball for a strike. 0-1. Yankees with an 8-2 lead as we play the top of the 7th. Mattingly down at second. Strike 2. Yankees came up with 4 runs in the first inning and knocked Ken Schramm out. Rick Lysander pitched 5 innings, pitched well, gave up 3 hits, but after walking Griffey in the 6th, he left, and Mattingly greeted Wardle with a 2-run homer. 1-2 now to Winfield. They got the big shift on Dave Winfield with the second baseman Washington playing to the left of second base. Good play by the catcher Tim Laudner. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 men out. Top of the 7th. Yankees 8, Twins 2. Ron Guidry's limited the Twins to 4 hits. Ball was tipped away into the dugout. And Winfield lost the bat.
That Mike Smithson with the bat looking at it.
Winfield lost his bat back in the first inning. But that time he lined a double over Gaetti's head. Bat and ball go toward the Minnesota dugout. Fouled away. Count holds 2-2. This big road trip for the Yankees, their longest of the season. It's on to Kansas City, then to Texas next weekend, and it finishes up in Cleveland. These are the kind of games, Bill, that a contender has to win. The majority of.
Well, they're playing the West, and it's a big plus because they've played so well this year against the West.
Tipped it, strike 3, so the side retired. Yankees get 2 more runs on 2 base hits. They leave 1 through 6.5. New York 8, Minnesota 2. Bottom of the 7th inning here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, with the Yankees leading it by a score of 8-2. And Ron Guidry will pitch to Gary Gaetti, Tim Laudner, and Dave Meyer. Gaetti has struck out swinging twice. He has struck out 56 times this year. That's tops on the Twins. And waves at this one, strike 1. One and 1. Gaetti struck out 81 times last year. Brought it down from 121 the year before. At this pace, he will be at about the 100 mark, or a little bit over this year. Fouled away, 1-2. Billy Martin has a lawn chair out there. Billy made a good play in that ground ball. And a good play by Tom Kelly down at third base. We saw Bernansky wearing sunglasses. Kelly's wearing them. Ron Guidry. An 8-2 lead as we play the bottom of the 7th. Goodry looking for his 13th win of the year, his 12th in a row. Strike three, gets Gaetti for a third straight time. And there's one man out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Gaetti's the only guy Guidry's found in this ball game. Here it is again, a fastball that a little bit slider that rolled over on the outside part of the plate. Caught Gaetti looking.
Well, here's Tim Laudner. He hits this one to left field, but Griffey is there. And there are 2 men away. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Texas beat Detroit last night 2-1. And tonight the ball game's in the 11th inning. And they're tied at 4-4. As the Tigers could wind up this evening 3 games behind the Yankees should the Yankees hold on and Texas wind up winning that ball game. Ball 1 now to Dave Meyer. Meyer's 0 for 2, popping up to Randolph on both occasions. This one fouled straight back, and the count is 1-1. Up high, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Dave Meyer. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees got 4 in the first. Knocked Kent Schramm out. Ricky Henderson had a home run. Added 2 more in the 6th on Don Mattingly's home run. And 2 more in the 7th on Mattingly's 2-run double. Three and 1 to Meyer. And Guidry has walked his first batter. Comes with 2 outs here in the 7th inning and a 3-1 pitch. And with 2 outs, Greg Gagne will come on. Guidry did not walk a batter in his last outing against Texas and now goes 6 2/3 here. Strike 1 to Gagne. Gagne's 0 for 2. Right center field. Winfield moves over. Side retired. No runs, no hits. Twins leave 1 through 7. 8-2 Yankees. Ron Hasse, Don Baylor, and Willie Randolph to face Mark Anthony Brown.
A New Englander.
A New Englander. Lives in North Walpole, New Hampshire. Born in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Strike 1. Came over in spring training from the Baltimore Oriole organization. Hasse, 1 for 3. Got an RBI in the first inning and a ground ball a second. And then singled in the 6th. Gaetti can't make the play. Gagne can, and they got him. Good reaction by Gagne as the ball bounced away from Gaetti, and he saves Gaetti an error.
Here's Hasse slicing the ball, and it's got a lot of English, and took him a long time to get away from home plate.
Yeah.
And also took him a long time to get down the first baseline.
Don Baylor takes ball 1. 5-6-3 if you're scoring that one. On the out. That's down low. 2-0 to Baylor, who's looking for his first base hit. Gaetti robbed him in the 4th inning. Also bounced out to 3rd in the 1st and then struck out. This is Gagne. 2 men away here in the 8th. Kind of interesting. Mark Brown, Oriole property. Ray Miller's the pitching coach. And they took Brown on their trip to Japan last year. Came back, got rid of him. And now he's pitching for the former pitching coach of the team that apparently didn't want him.
Well, that's probably why he's here, though. Orioles have always had good pitching.
Willie Randolph takes strike one.
We mentioned Flanagan coming back from Achilles surgery, lost today. He's 0-1, so he certainly, if he comes back and gets in good shape, will not hurt the Oriole pitching staff.
Outside, 1-1 to Randolph. Randolph had an infield single in the first inning, which drove home the 4th run of inning number 1. And bounced to short and flied to center. So he is 1 for 3 inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Randolph. 2 outs here in the 8th. 8-2 New York. Three and 1. Strike 2, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Willie Randolph. Brown made 9 appearances for the Orioles last year. Pitched a total of 23 innings and had an earned run average of 3.91. 3-2, and he walks him. First walk given up by Brown, who came on with 2 outs in the 7th inning and struck out Winfield. And it'll bring up Mike Pagliarulo. Ray Miller getting his baptism as a manager in the big leagues. It's a tough job.
Yep.
If you're not winning. Momentary delay here. I don't know. Laudner is pointing out towards center field.
They want the second base umpire to move, and Kosk will move from the second base side of second to the first base to the third base side, or the shortstop side.
Inside for a ball to Pagliarulo, who was 1 for 2, single in the 2nd. And also drew a walk in the 7th inning and came on to score. Outside, 2-0. It'll be Phil Niekro tomorrow afternoon against Frank Viola. And we'll be on at 2 p.m. New York time. It's 1 o'clock here in Minnesota. Inside, 3-0. So Brown having some control problems here. Walks Randolph and now goes behind 3-0 to Pagliarulo. That'll be out of play.
Got to get a better swing than that on a 3-0 fastball. You shouldn't be hitting that ball the other way. You got to be pulling that thing. You look for the fastball, and if you don't get it, you take it, but you get a better rip than that. If you're going to swing at 3-0.
And we've seen a lot of that tonight.
Yeah.
That's strike 2. Last night we saw Baylor hit one for a home run. Tonight, a home run by the Twins' Tim Laudner on a 3-0 pitch. And here we see Pagliarulo do it. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Side retired, no runs. The Yankees lead 1 through 7.5. It's 8-2 New York. Fouls the first pitch off. Bottom of the 8th, Yankees with an 8-2 lead. Bush is 0 for 2. Bobby Meacham made a super play on a looping line drive over short the last time Bush was up. and took a base hit away from him.
37,919. 37,919.
Well, the crowd tonight just about the same as last night, a little more than 37,000, nearly 38,000, 37,919.
41,482.
So the Twins are hoping to go over 1 million tomorrow afternoon for the finale of this series. 1-2 to Randy Bush. Ron Guidry, who faced a minimum 9 batters through the first 3 innings tonight and gave up back-to-back doubles to Washington and Engel in the 4th for a run, and a leadoff homer to Tim Laudner in the 5th for the other run for the Minnesota Twins. 4 hits for Minnesota. One and 2. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Detroit and Texas remain tied. They're now in the 12th inning at 4-4. Toronto beaten this afternoon by Oakland. Guidry. Good defensive play, and the first out here in the 8th inning. He stays with the ball. And with 1 man away, we'll go to the top of the Minnesota order in Kirby Puckett. Oakland with a 5-1 win over Toronto. So the Blue Jays are now 54-37. If the Yankees hold on and win this, they'll be 51-37. A game and a half behind, tied in the loss column. Strike 1. Puckett's 1 for 3. Singling his last at bat up the middle. Down low, 1-1. Meacham. 2 men away. Last base hit the Twins got was the leadoff single by Puckett in the 6th inning.
I think Meacham likes his surface. No bad hops on it.
No.
Gets a good jump on the ball here.
I think most infielders would like it, Bill. You know where the ball's coming at you, it comes at you true. Comes at you fast and true. Ron Washington swings and misses. Strike 1.
Only thing we've seen the infielders have problems with here is the high bouncers.
Yeah. And they're not going to get errors on those. It's going to be about 12'6" in order to get up and grab them. Outside. Example, Washington at the plate, the first base hit of the ball game. He bounced one toward third. Hit it right in front of the plate, and it went way over Pagliarulo's head. Pagliarulo. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Guidry. Nothing across. Through 8. It's the Yankees 8 and the Twins 2. Phil will be greeting him in Kansas City this week. When he returns, Meacham leading it off here in the 9th inning. 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Ron Washington at second base. And there's 1 man away for the Yankees.
So that last little hop to Washington, that's what we've been talking about. For some reason, gets to the... Watch him, he'll have to get up off his feet there to catch that last hop. I don't think he really had to do it then, but you worry so much that you have to do that, it becomes a reflexive action, I think, around the infield.
Washington in at second base tonight for Tim Tuffle. And with 1 out, Ricky Henderson, who's had a 2 for 4 night, including a home run. to lead off the ball game on a 3-2 pitch. He stroked it center field 420 feet away, then singled to center in the 7th. Little looping pop fly. Strike one for Mike Brown. Yankees with 10 hits, the Twins with 4. Dodgers are leading the Cardinals 2-0 in the 4th inning. Should the Cardinals lose that game, the Mets would be half a game out of first place. Dodgers come into play tonight with San Diego winning this afternoon, all even with the Padres. So it's really heating up in the National League East and West, and also in the American League East, with the Yankees looking to move a game and a half behind the first place Toronto Blue Jays. And I'll tell you, one of the great things about growing up in New York was the possibility of a Subway Series, the rivalry. And we're legitimately seeing it right here this year in 1985 for the first time in 30 years. Some of the most vivid memories of baseball in New York City. One and two to Rickey Henderson. Down low, ball 2, 2-2. Breaking ball, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Henderson. 1 out here in the 9th. Yankees with an 8-2 lead. And Rickey Henderson has his 3rd base hit of the game. As we mentioned, he came into this game trailing George Brett. Brett had 2 hits today, went up to 359.
And here's Henderson again. That 3rd base hit should move him close to 356. He was batting at 354 before he got that base hit, so he should move to within 3 points of George Brett.
Ken Griffey, who is 2 for 3. Couple of runs scored and a walk. Ball gets away from Laudner. And Henderson moves down to 2nd base. Have to wait for a ruling on that. But Henderson in scoring position now. They called it a pass ball on Tim Laudner. There's a strike. 1-1. Griffey had that 11-game hitting streak snapped last night, and he started off tonight's ball game with back-to-back singles. Second base. That's the shortstop, excuse me, Gagne, and he throws him out. They were shifting over on Griffey. Henderson moves down to 3rd with 2 men out, and Don Mattingly will come to the plate. So Griffey is retired, and Mattingly will step in. After walking in the 1st and scoring, then bouncing into a double play, Mattingly hit Kurt Wardle's first pitch for a 2-run homer in the 6th, and then doubled off Wardle to left center field in the 7th inning, driving home 2 more runs. So his 10th homer. He now has 74 RBIs and 28 doubles. Leads the American League in doubles and ribbies, and takes ball 1. Of his 4 RBIs tonight, none of them scored Rickey Henderson. And 28 of his RBIs have plated Henderson, who leads the American League in runs scored. Nice to have a Rickey Henderson in front of you.
Yeah. It looked like they might be trying to make Mattingly go after a bad pitch with Winfield up next.
Got the inside corner, 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 to Mattingly with 2 men out. Here in the 9th inning, Mark Brown.
Here's the last pitch to Mattingly from Mark Brown. Ball tailed back in. Mattingly thought it might have been inside.
Back live. This pitch is fouled. And the count holds 2-2. Yankees lost the opener of the series on Thursday afternoon on Ken Herbeck's grand slam. Here's Washington playing in short right field and throwing out Mattingly to retire the side. No runs a hit. The Yankees lead 1. We go to the bottom of the 9th with New York leading at 8-2. Up against Ron Guidry, who is 3 outs away from his 12th straight win. And a base hit to left field. Only the 5th hit given up by Guidry, and the first since the 6th inning. Since then, Guidry had retired the Twins in order except for a 2-out walk to Dave Meyer in the 7th inning.
I think Guidry probably feels that the Twins might be taking a pitch since they're down 6 runs, but Engel jumps on the first fastball and slaps to the left for a single.
That's Engel's second base hit of the night. He doubled and drove home a run in the 4th inning. And here's Tom Brunansky. Guidry has handled him. Brunansky is 0 for 3 and takes a strike.
Well, just in case, the Yankees have Brian Fisher getting loose in their bullpen.
This one is hit to left center field. Rickey Henderson waves off Griffey, and there's 1 man away. Guidry faced 9 batters over the first 3 innings as we look at Henderson, who's had a 3-hit night, including a home run in the 1st inning. Pagliarulo made an error in the 1st, but was erased on a Washington was erased on a double play. And there were back-to-back doubles in the 4th for a run, a homer by Laudner in the 5th for the other run. Gary Gaetti has had a tough night. Guidry has recorded all 3 of his strikeouts against the Twins' third baseman. He has walked 3. He has struck out 1. He has walked 1 and struck out 3. This one fouled back. 1-1.
Some pitchers just, they give you trouble. You can't pick up the ball. And, of course, the old saying, you can't hit what you can't see. Guidry, just at least tonight, has Gaetti's number. I don't know overall in the 3 or 4 years he's faced Gaetti what the percentages are. But from the looks of things tonight, I don't think Gaetti's hit Guidry that well.
He is struggling up there. 1-2. Has himself a base hit after striking out 3 times, and Engel will move over to third base. So with 1 man out, the Twins have put runners at the corners here in the 9th inning, and Gaetti has kind of a half smile at his face, up to say it's about time.
Well, he gets this one out on the end of the bat. Didn't really get a good rip, but it laid it out into left center field. Got a nice hop. That allowed Engel to go on to third base.
So first and third with one out, and Tim Laudner will step in. I was thinking back to something Lou Piniella mentioned to me at the beginning of the year after, I forget who it was, struck out 4 times. He said, striking out 4 times in the game is rougher than getting 4 hits.
it's
Tim Laudner. He pops this one up. Willie Randolph. And they're a 2 men away. So Laudner, who had homered on a 3-0 pitch back in the 5th inning, is retired for the second out. That's interesting, though. Striking out 4 times tougher than getting 4 hits.
Well, I don't know what it means, but I've done it. And it's frustrating.
Well, you had more 4-hit games than 4 strikeout games, so it must have been tougher.
Let's see, I don't know about that.
Dave Meyer steps in.
In fact, the guy who did it still pitching. Sutton.
And still pitching well. Griffey. He short hops it. And the run scores. And it is now an 8-3 game. Griffey was caught twixt in between. And then finally when he came on, he was able to just short hop it and a run scores.
And Meyer getting his first base hit, a fastball over the middle of the plate and down. And obviously short hop by Ken Griffey.
And fortunately for Griffey, he was able to short hop it. That ball gets by, another run would have scored.
Dave Righetti joins Brian Fisher in the Yankee bullpen.
Greg Gagne, the shortstop, steps in. The Tigers and the Rangers are now in the 13th inning, tied at 4-4.
There's Righetti throwing, and Brian Fisher on the right of your screen.
Billy Martin, Mark Connor, the Yankee pitching coach, alongside. Fouled away. Twins have scored a run here in the 9th on 3 base hits. And the Yankees with an 8-3 lead. And Guidry trying to finish up and come up with his 8th complete game of the year. He's had 4 in his last 7. Trying to make it 5 of 8. Gaetti down at second. Meyer on at first. Right field, long run for Dave Winfield. He puts it away. The side retired, and the ball game over. For the Twins here in the 9th inning, they add a run on 3 base hits. No Yankee errors. 2 men left on base, and Ron Guidry has won his 13th, and the Yankees come away with an 8-3 win. Bill?
Yankees 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. The Twins 3 runs, 7 hits. They played airless baseball. Guidry 13-3 the winner. Ken Schramm 8-9 the loser. 12 straight for Guidry. His 8th complete game. The Yankees now just 1.5 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays. Final score once again, Yankees 8, Twins 3. That's it from the Metrodome here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Remember to tune in tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock when the Yankees once again meet the Minnesota Twins, and we'll have it for you right here along the Yankee Baseball Network.